This video is rather long overdue, but I'm going to try to describe what my intention is and then attempt to do that. To start off with, this is the side panel to the enclosure that I have, and what I'd like to be able to do is to put a case over it and a little door. So first off, I'm kind of happy that the machine sits here. It looks like I should be able to quite easily move it back a little bit more if I needed to, and I'll probably end up doing that. But for now, that's good. What I have here is an offcut from another. Offcut here is from something I set up to be able to exhaust the air out of my unit from this. And my intention is to make this fit over here. Now, just by going by my eyesight, not measuring anything, it appears that I should be able to use less than half of this panel, which is good because I also need to use it at the top. But I get into a little bit of trouble when I try to match it up perfectly like that. See, it almost, and that's the thing that really gets me. It is so damn close to covering it. Well, at least this little top bit here. That's unfortunate, but that's gonna be what I have to work with. It's gonna be a while before I can buy more of this stuff. It is ass expensive when you need to buy it. Anywho, now I'll get up to the top and I'll show you up there. Awkward sort of position because I can't really see the camera in this place, but here's the top of the 3D, well, the enclosure for my 3D printer. This up. Now this hole I need to be able to patch in or patch up. And judging by that, that's still less than half. I'll move it up here. So if I press this up hard against the lid, it still looks like it uses up less than half, which is really good for what I want, since I can cut this in half and I've got enough for both. Which really helps me out. And the only thing I've got to worry about is sealing off this end here. Something I'm curious about is you've got this strip back here, but I mean, it doesn't make much sense to me. Anyway, great. So this is going to be useful. Now, I do also have another piece from before. This is a piece that I picked up some time ago, and it was from a larger purchase, so I bought a full sheet of this stuff, which is pretty big, and this was an offcut from it. My intention today, or at least when I get around to it, is to use this as a door for the side, which you saw in the previous clip, because my hand looks like it can easily fit through there, so I can definitely shrink this down, and I still should be able to fit my hand through there to be able to turn the 3D printer on and off when I need to. So that's good. In any case, let's move on to the next segment. All right, to start off with, I have a very big issue with lighting right now. I need to get something better set up and designed. That's A, going to be portable, and B, just make my life easier. But at the moment, all I can do is rely on natural lighting and the lighting in my unit. And unfortunately, that's casting a bunch of shadows, so yay. I'm hoping everything I have here right now is exactly what I need, and I'm going to quickly go over it. So you have your first off, a stock standard metal ruler. Plastic with what I'm going to be doing is probably going to be an issue. This tape, I was at the hardware store, and from what I understand, this tape is used to temporarily, or I think in some cases permanently, hold down flooring. This isn't carpet, this is underneath the carpet. So I bought this primarily for bookbinding, but today, well, this is going to be useful. Now, I bought this packet of hook and loop. I only needed one type, and when I realized I could buy 5 meters of this stuff for not that much more than I think it was like 1 or 2 meters, I thought, damn! So I bought this instead. Now I've got my craft knife, X-Acto knife. Sometimes they're difficult. This was fun. So after I did my recording of the last video, I thought, yeah, I really should try to track down the packet that I've got. Couldn't find them. So I went online and I found a store locally that had these for sale, and they were listed for $11. In the store, they were $10. But that particular store also gave me a $5 voucher, meaning anything that isn't on sale and it's at full price, you get $5 off. But there's no, it could be $6. I haven't tried it for a $5 item yet, but I've really got to do that. So I looked at the generic ones of these and I discovered they were $5.50. Okay, so, you know, $6. But why were these cheaper? Because in the store, these were listed for $10 on the shelf. And when I took a photo of that, I didn't take the tag, I took a photo of it, and it's very important. Don't ever take the damn tag off the shelf when you see something cheaper. Take a photo. Or when you go to the register, just say, hey, it was listed on the shelf for X amount and on your website. Show the photo to the person at the register, and they're like, yep, okay. So they lowered the price down to 10, gave me the $5 discount, and I saved myself 50 cents. Great. Although I kind of wasted money because I already got some of these floating around and I can't find the bloody things. So yeah. My mechanical pencil, which I'll be doing all my marking with, and as you can already see, I've already marked this already. This is something I 3D printed prior to getting my current 3D printer. I did this off-site, so. And effectively, this is going to sit on the top. So where's the top? Here it is. Sit somewhere like there, and I connect the hose to it. Actually, I've got to go find the screws for that. And I picked this glue up when I bought this panel. I was assembling a photo frame, so, you know, DIY one. And I thought, well, I should probably use it for this. I also bought this from a local store, I didn't buy it online, so, you know, there's that. All right, let's get started with this then. So first off, I'm going to join these two lines. No. First, I am going to replace you. I got that with another tool, so hopefully it won't get lost. Now, the one thing I don't like about Friskus is the fact that they've got these blades upside down, so it means the sharp point is digging into the plastic. It really should be poking up. Why would they do that? Anyway. Hopefully I don't lose that lot. Nice and tight. Good. Now double check that this is all lined up correctly, and I'm going to make my first pass. Go. Oh, I do have a cutting mat underneath this, which you can probably see up there. So yeah, I'm kind of trying to take precautions. And if you're wondering, my body is to the left of the blade. So if I did pull it back quickly. Now, if you are looking at this and you think that this is perfectly fine, my point, this finger, this thumb, if this blade was to go, it would cut into these, well, those limbs. So, yeah. Always a good idea to keep safety on the mind. the way through yet. I think this stuff's like 3 mil thick. So it's definitely going to take a while to cut through like this. But hopefully it'll hold up for a nice long time. Fortunately, I should move that, but it's not a good idea. There it goes. Ooh, and yeah, I cut into the table. What a waste. Oh, yikes. Okay, so I now have the bottom piece, or the side piece. And now I need to cut the top piece. So line these two up, and hopefully I won't make the same mistake twice. Careful, careful. And I felt that damn ruler shift. Pick it up here this time, and once, twice, 3 times. Whatever. All right, great. Now I'm going to have to pause and go see if these fit. All right, so that unfortunately failed for me a little bit since I A, bumped the camera, and B, tore out the microphone, which, fun. All right then. So what I did was I went over back to the enclosure, and I've made markers for where the Velcro strips are on both panels. Now I have to remember that this is the reverse side. So this is going to be on the top, but these Velcro strips are on the bottom. Great. With that said, what I can do first off is estimate where on earth I'm going to stick that damn exhaust pipe. So I can go like that. And I can go like that. Good. So roughly I'd like this in the middle, the back. So 3 on this side, just over 3 on this side. That's better. And then I can simply make a circle. That's the material I've got to remove. What I will do, however, let's go 10. No, stuff it. Actually, I think I will make it a square just to make it safer. So let's go about 8 centimeters up here. I'll make this safe just in case. 8 centimeters here. 8 centimeters here. 8 centimeters here, and 8 centimeters here. Now I really wish I had an actual cutter on hand, because I would probably leave about a centimeter gap around the lip and then cut it, but this is going to be the best that I can do for now, so fun. Oops. That's better. Yeah, I followed this first line, which I didn't want to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. So easy to always follow that first line. That came loose, that's not good. There, good. Good. Oops. Eventually, I do hope to be able to cut this out properly, but for now, I probably won't be able to do it later properly, but anyway. So it's just this one here. So what I should be able to do that. That. There we go. And I should be golden. Yep. There. Now for this one, I'll have to check that. All right, so I had to go double check this. This is the top, this is the bottom. Now, up here doesn't need a vertical strip, I just need some horizontals, and down here it needs a vertical strip. So what I'll first off do is transfer the markings to the other side. Good. Now I need to link them up. Now this bottom part here, the gap should be 25 up here. So that's 25 there. So if I measure 25 over here, so as you can see, I didn't exactly cut this 100% straight, which kind of irritates me a bit. Right, so that's the bottom, that's the top. This is supposed to be the front. And I'm gonna have to apply the tape to this, which is gonna make things a little bit more of a pain in the ass. It's the same with the other one. Before I do that, I want to cut the hole first in the air vent. And I got these. So if I go by the size, that's clearly going to be too big, but what happens if I cut it in half? Right, that's perfect. So bring it all the way down to the bottom here. And I'll make the marks for here, 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 here. Bring that up, bend that down. 1, 2. And that is definitely not going to fit. Right, one problem at a time. And they're both definitely not straight, so let's try to correct that by doing it in a place where it also isn't bloody straight. So first off, how long is this? 10. 10.3. 10, 2, 3. There we go. And up here, make it look straight. 10.3, I think that's it. Good. Go over there. That is definitely way off. Let's correct that. So about 3 centimeters from the edge. That'll be why. And then 10.3 from there to there. Much better looking. So that's the full size. Now I do have this, which I'm technically thinking I could, but I can't. So what I need to do is I need to make a frame, which I can make out of these two. Worry about that in a little bit. So I'm going to give it a... I'm not going to cut one giant hole. 1 centimeter from here to about a centimeter here, which is not a full centimeter, but whatever. Down like that. Mark it there. Down. Mark it there. Here at about 5. Yeah, that looks off. So 1, 6, just before 10. So 1.5 centimeters down. 1.5 centimeters down. And then across is 1, 6, and 10. So 1, 6, and just shy of 10. There. What I should be able to do is give this about half a centimeter, sorry. And then I can link these up. Like that. Oops, I'm gonna lose that. There, and now I have my vent holes. I had to take a quick break to check something, but all checked, I'm all good. Right, so that's my vent hole, and now I need my little door, which is going to sit here. So clearly that's going to be still too big. That's fine, I can shrink it down a bit. So let's take a look. So I think ultimately 11 by 10, right? Okay, so we can't have it along here, so it's going to be our cutoff line. But if I go down here. All right, so let's restart this. That's the bottom, that's the top. That's the line that I can't touch. So what I'll do is I will go 1 centimeter out. And over here, I'll go 1 centimeter out. And then I'll create my invisible door line. There. So how long is that? That's a little longer than what I should have, but that's fine. So if I drag it down to about 10.5, and then mark it here, and then I mark it here. Now I need 11 going out to here, don't I? Yes. So I've got 11 centimeters, and then over here, line that up straight as possible, and then another 10 centimeters. 11 centimeters, sorry, 11. And then I line these. Of course, it's not straight. There. So now I should have, oh yeah, that should be plenty of space. And it's also far bigger. The offcut. Great, so now I've got to cut these two out. No, it's all metal, it's not plastic one, so that's good. There. Still not all the way through yet. Yeah, I'm not cutting that straight, am I? So this one. There it goes. There. Let's see how it works. Ah, plenty of room. You can fit my whole fist in there too. Right, let's cut these ones. Oops. Now I'm starting to feel a little careless with what I'm doing, which is not a good idea. Yeah, not good. And it should be cut. Definitely not all the way through yet, so I'll keep at it. That's broken. The best feeling in the world. Better. And the second one's out. Sweet. All right, good. So my vent's clear, but that's not going to cover it. The thing is, I don't need it to cover it. What I need now is a couple of strips. So straight there, that's straight there. Cut it here like that. Yeah, this is definitely not a good one for high stress applications like this. So I will make it go over about, so I'll cut two at 2 centimeters each, 2 and 4, 2 and 4. keep doing that, don't I? Good. Four. Right. Right, so now I should have two that line up like that. Perfect. Now here's a question. I still got this stuff. Now its thickness is just enough, which means I should be able to do this. Wait. No. See, that's like that. So what I need to do is to put it on this instead. Just outside, like that. Right. Should have made these way longer. And that should be able to sit like that. Good. Now, take these off. Perfect. Good. Good. Now I need, do I need a bottom? Do I need one on the bottom? Probably not. Ooh, that stuff pulls quite easily. Yeah, I'm starting to think I should have probably made a little cartridge that I could take in and out. Anyway, I know this is only about half. Hang on. I need an extra pair of scissors. There we go. Yeah, that I'm not happy with at all. No, it's teeth. There's not enough space. Come on. There. So hopefully that's not going to get sucked. It should pull it a little tight once the air starts flowing in. But as long as it doesn't pull it all the way in, it should create the type of seal I need. Right, now for the door. Now for that bloody door. Hang on, what am I doing? Oh no, I just had a better idea. I had a better idea. I do what I did outside, inside. That should be enough. Good. Right. I'm going to cut this one in half. Five and a half, so that here. 6, which kind of makes sense. So what did I measure this at? 3.2 or 3.3 anyway. 2.7 or 2.8. There. Turns out I might not end up using the glue anyway. That'd be a shame. Oops. And that can go there. That's how I'm gonna do it. Right. So I'll take the blue double-sided tape again. All right, 50 to 100 Fahrenheit. So Celsius, anyway. I'm not done yet. So I need to give myself just a little bit overlap up here, like so, and down here it's going to have to be a lot more, which is a shame, but it's how it's going to roll. There we go. Now I should just north of that. Now I should still be able to fit my hand through. Yep. Great. Which means piece I cut out should be able to fit right on it or in it. Oops. Now I shouldn't have to cut all 4 sides, just 2 to shrink it down just ever so slightly. Oops. Yeah, that one on an angle. Yeesh. Ooh, ad hogging this seems to be working out quite well for the time being. There we go. Ah, that's what I'm looking for. Now you're probably wondering, well, that's not going to sit very well. It's still got air gaps. So I come back over here and seal the rest of it up. Make sure my tongue's in the right place for this, otherwise it won't work. Now, I need 2 pieces that I can fit over this. So one will be here. Oops. So line that up carefully like that. There we go. Now I can pretend to still see it. I can mark it. And then I can cut it. I don't even know if I'm doing the best practice right now, but whatever. Now that should sit right flush on there. And then another one for support. Move that so it's sitting like that. First lay this down. Cut. Cut that off. Like so. Done. There we go. And unfortunately that's still got a bit of play in it, which is not a good idea. That's why. Put this on top of it. And it gives it a bit more strength. I'm literally doing this all on the fly. So we've got some additional support. Oops. And now it's just this last bit over here, and I'll finish. I'll secure that when I'm done. Right. So I need a small piece that will fit through here. Centimeters here, 2 centimeters there. Then put the lid back on that, which isn't a good idea. Oops. There, like that. Gah. Not good. Not good. There. Now that should fit on like so. Almost perfectly. Good. Good, 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 good. There. And because that's going to be where the hinge comes in, I don't have to worry. Now, I can still fit my hand in through that. Good. And that should sit flush, which is nice. So, first off, I'm going to grab my tape. Actually, I might cut the strip first. Take that out. There we go. Make the blade safe. Man, that looks absolutely horrible. But it allows me to get in there and do what I want. Now I'm not cutting through it, I'm only scoring the tape. And that then allows me to simply peel it off and then give it a right tear and done. Just stick that there. Oh, hang on. Not a good idea. Yeah, that's not going to stick back down. Take another one. Huh, and I've already got the tip of this broken. Yay. See, they only last one project, not even one. There, now that shouldn't break off. And I can take this there, little door. Fingers crossed. However, once I've got the air flowing through it, hopefully it'll keep the door closed. Just open it up, stick my hand in, flick it on, pull it out. And let's get that fixed up. So, there. Good. Now for the next part. I got a bag. It's from a local supermarket, and I am going to cover this with it. Probably not the best idea, but I'll have to get my scissors again. I kind of don't want to break the zipper. There we go. Now I don't have to break the zipper. This isn't the ideal or best material I could think of for using it, but it's kind of convenient for me. Now, technically, it's not 100% necessary. I mean, you can definitely get away without doing this part, but for me, and I just stuffed it, didn't I? Okay. Yeah, I could definitely just go grab an unpicker, but I want to be lazy. Yeah, it's been tacked in as well. It's going to be a problem. Nasty. Alright, so this stuff's a lot more fragile than I thought it was going to be. Oh well. Right. So I want to stick that over like that. And it's probably a little short for what I want. fit over the... Nope. All right, that's fine then. I can deal with it. I'm gonna have to deal with it. Ooh, actually, I could cut it from down here. Hopefully that works. I just need this on the outside. I can barely see that. You know what? I'll just cut it straight now, here and there, here and now. There. And I need to cut this out. Should just need to cut this off down here. There we go. Now time for some glue. Oh, that tore. Oh wow, that's a large opening down there. Let's try to fill it. Just do this all haphazard. Do. There we go. Roll that over. Okay. So now I should be able to cut here. None of this is really necessary. I'm just being a bit pedantic, that's all. I thought, you know what, let's put this insulating material in and fingers crossed it'll do what I want. Or not. The other thing is I highly doubt that it'll get as hot as the actual print bed itself or the nozzle, so this will hopefully keep it nice and toasty while 3D printing. Man, this looks absolutely horrendous. What the hell am I doing? There we go. Oops, I should probably cut that first. So it's a little shorter, like so. There. Well, I can clearly say that I am soul-heartedly embarrassed with the work I just did. Let's apply the hook and loop. So, yep, it's the hooks that I got to apply. Great. Tissue. One strip should go there. Use my scissors. Actually, no. Should get that there. And then straightened. Ooh, that looks really strong. There we go. There we go. And finally, one along the bottom. Man, I should have set myself up with a garbage bin. There we go. All right, so now I've got a complete mess. I'm running out of time and I want to try to finish this before the battery reaches like less than what it currently is, which is, I checked, it was like 30%, so Not good. I'll come back to the glue in a minute. Oops. All right, so this is the top, right. So I'm going to first transfer the markings for the tape. It's the inside. Yeah. Right. Oops. There. That's the first one done. And the second thing I'll do is I'll put on some of the hook and loop. Or just the hooks, I'm not doing the loop. Oh, I completely forgot. These marks at the top here as well. So you and you. Right. I'm not too happy with the way that looks. So let's try to make them perpendicular. Means that there might be a bit of a fault. I'll just double check that. All right, I had a quick look. I'm not 100% sure that this line's going to match up, but should be at least enough there to get some kind of seal on it. There we go. All right, those two are on. You know, the one thing I keep forgetting is that the enclosure itself isn't 100% sealed. So there's always going to be leakage everywhere around the damn thing, but that's why I'm hoping this stuff will provide less of a resistance for the air than, say, for instance, the zipper or anything that I'm making right now. Ooh, 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 ooh. Get out. Don't tear, don't tear. Okay, so there's that one. and there should be this last one. There we go. Now I've got a bunch left over for if I have to redo this, which I probably will, and I'm going to regret it. And I should have only bought the hooks, not the bloody loop as well, because that would have been, ugh, what a waste of money. Time for this part. Oh, good. I did look at buying insulation material, but that stuff is expensive. This was cheaper. Make that mistake again. Hopefully. That's what I want to see. All right, so that's good for a first cut. And I shall grab the glue again and give it a bit of a glue. suppose. All right, now I have to let that dry, all set up and everything, and then I can cut it out a little bit more and I'll have my top panel ready. Yahoo! All right, well, I'm gonna have to stop the video for now and I will get back to this hopefully tomorrow. Well, it's been a week since I did my last video on this, so the magic of video editing. Yee. All right, with that done, my initial plan was to take this, stick it on the top of here, and then mount this in between the motor with this sort of raunchy setup, which is confusing and probably not the best, but I got kind of lucky. So the fan I ordered actually arrived, which means I can take use of the port that's out of, well, you can't actually see it with a current camera angle, but I will try to videotape or film myself actually installing it. Now I'm hoping these have had enough time to dry. And that was sticking up a little bit, which isn't good. But anyway. So let's get some more of this done. First off, I'm going to throw this away because I won't be needing it. Now, second, these are the screws I sort of got myself set up with. Oops. 4 sets. And I need to mount this to here. Got a problem though. Gotta punch some holes in this. So I've got a solution for that. My awl. This is a sewing tool that I have, and I've used it a fair amount. And today I'm going to be using it to punch holes in the cardboard so I can push my screws through. Try to center it up as much as possible and down. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. You know, I've got to imagine that might have blunted it a little, but bugger. Anywho, put that back. Oh wow, where these holes ended up. So what I should be able to do, hopefully not lose any more nuts and bolts. So I should separate them all. I think I should have gotten more washers, to be honest. Yowza. Oh, these are going to be tight, aren't they? Should have grabbed a screwdriver. Alright, it's through. It's nice and tight too, I wasn't expecting that. Anywho. Do this one on the opposite side first. Get my ball back. Ooh. Motion sickness for you. There we go. Try this again. Now, really, I could put a filter on the end of this, but I don't think I'm going to bother with that. You know what? I'm not really concerned about the seal on this end here, since it's really cardboard that does the sealing. So let's just get that down. Yeah, I probably should have had a screwdriver for me with this. Anyway. Finger tight should be enough. 2, 3, 4. Wow. So with the old fan, these would have definitely been long enough, but they look a little too long right now for the current application. Nevertheless, that's not really a bad thing. Right. So I can take these aside and I can show you the main attraction. A $30 exhaust fan, or ducting fan, or whatever you want to call it. Now, I already went and bought this from the hardware store. So the plan is to take this, put it on the top of here, and then plug it into the window, which isn't too far. And I've got a good 3 meters on here, so I should be good. Now let's see how it fits. Ooh, I pretty much nailed that one. Sweet. Let's see how it looks when I stick the fan on, which surprisingly doesn't weigh that much. Right. Probably a little heavier than I'd be comfortable with, but I doubt the thread on this is going to give way and it's going to collapse and cause calamity by smashing down on the 3D printer and completely destroying it. Yeah, that's overthinking things. Alright, so now you can see what I stored in some of my other boxes here, which is vintage gaming gear. Alright, let's get to work. So that should be 4-inch and it should just slip over this without a problem. Oh, there's some tape on here. You can see why. Come off. Yep. Exactly what I was afraid of. I should have bought the clamps. Don't worry, I've already ordered them. And they're coming through PF Logistics, which means they'll probably be here in about 5 to 10 years. Which I'm not happy about. Oh, that's also a different hose as well I ordered too. That hose is 10 meters long, where this is only 3. So I'll be making a few cuts on that one. After all the work I put in, I'm just completely botching it now, which is not good. So insert that back over. Regret doing that. Alright, that should be my holdover for now. Shrink that up, stick it there. Now, I should get like some sort of hook so I can hold that up. Anywho, that would be my terrible job. And I'm really not proud of it. But kudos on me for ordering something on eBay and relying on PF Logistics to handle the shipping. Worst decision ever. Oh, if you're wondering, PF Logistics is an extremely budget shipping company which places like Temu would rely on simply because of the, well, lack of cost. They seem to have a high staff turnover and delivery tends to be more miss than hit. All right, time to go down. All right, now time for the big one. Let's see what we got here. So now you should be able to just press onto there and sit in like that. Ooh, very close. Very, very close. Huh. That actually works a lot better than I expected. Plus, I can just reach in and go... Where is it? There it is! Now, let's take a look from inside. Alright, so this part's going to have to be done by hand, so not very good. But, as we can see up top here where the vent is, it's pretty much closed off. That's a little bit out of alignment. This side's fine, but you've got the casing up there. Down here, we can see the primary intake, and then at the back, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. My fingers can come in. Anyway, for now, that's going to be the mods that I've done. Next up, I'm going to try connecting this to my Wi-Fi network. Now this is a separate Wi-Fi network that I set up specifically to use this and a laptop with. So hopefully I can interact with it and connect it to the internet when I want to and not always. And yes, for the past week this has been sitting here without being turned on, not being connected to the internet. So we'll find out what it's like when that happens. Alright, so it's been a full day since my last clip. Oops. And I've got everything set up, except I had to disconnect the hose because I want to close the blind and yada yada yada. But I don't intend to print anything on this particular day. That's going to be for next week when I try to do like my whole print thing. Right now, however, I want to check its network setup because the last time I fired it up, it wasn't connected to any network. Let's see what that's like now. Reach inside. Where are you? There you are. That was easy. All right, so network, not logged in, not configured. Very little used on the 32 gig flash drive, SD card, Alexa, and it's just a Bambu P1. Wait, what can we glean from going to P1P? Firmware, auto sleep, calibration, accessories, nozzle, official enclosure kit, right? Oops. I'm curious what else is in here. Language and factory reset. Okay, that's good. There's actually a few things on here. Alright, back. Now, how do I unmount the SD card? So, offhand, SD card. Ooh, good. Let's go eject. Are you sure you want to eject? Yes. Done. Now I got that. Kudos for Bambu for actually putting up like half decent brand. Oh well, time for the computer. Embarrassingly, the first time I did this, it didn't work out, so I'm going to try it again, and hopefully I don't screw up. Currently, I've got a Windows 10 laptop. It's, as you can see down here, not connected to the internet, but it is on a Wi-Fi network, which is good, which is what I want. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take my micro SD card from the P1P, and I'm going to stick it into a micro SD to standard SD adapter, which allows me to then plug that into my laptop. Yay! Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is back this up. Copy. Now, technically I could use like an imaging tool or something, but I'm not going to get that pedantic. Instead, I'm just going to dump everything that's on here into Documents, create a new folder. And completely backed up. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Good. Right. Now, what I'd like to be able to do is to connect my printer to my network. I don't want to install any stupid apps on my phone or phones. I would prefer to be able to punch in the network details, but unfortunately that's not possible. So after looking up some rather bewildered people's sort of questions about how do I connect my printer to my network without using the app, some people were confused, some people were just out of it, other people were like, oh, you can do this. All right. Kudos. One, very sensible thing to do, because there are a lot of hobby projects that use this sort of method for connecting to wireless networks, where you just simply create a small file that's got text in it with the network information. So let's do that to this particular access point I have. Okay? All right. So first, I need to right-click, create a new document, and rename it as this. Right. Make sure the file extension, both the file name and file extension, should be as followed in the format. Fine. Good. Right. Or we can just simply download here. Oh, that's right. No internet connection. Oops. Now, where does it say specifically where we need to put this? Create a file. directory. There are two methods for this. Right click and create a new document, rename it as the following. Replace test fruit with your access ID. You can download it here to copy and paste. Alright, so it's saying the root directory, which is what I needed to know. So what I'll do is I'll go new and I'll go text document. I will go paste and then I'll go enter. Now I have a bit of an issue here. See, the file extension is going to be txt. So first off, I'm going to figure out how to change that in folder options. I have not had to do this in Windows 10 in forever. Where is it? Hide extensions of known file types and apply. Yay! We've got the txt. Are you sure? Yes, I am. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done that. And I'm going to undo that. Alright. Open with... No... You. And I'm not going to always open with that app. Right. So, judging by this, all it is are two fields as shown here. So I'm going to copy both of these and I'm going to paste both. And then I'm going to delete the tab that's been put. Oh, no, it's actually not a tab, it's just a bunch of spaces. Alright, there. And my SSD, SSID information. Oop, not tab. Use the arrow keys. Yeah, that's not the password, but I'm going to save it anyway. Now, through the magic of using the pause button on my recording application, which just happens to be Logitech Capture because I'm lazy, I now have the network information saved correctly to the SD card, and I'm going to turn this off and go back to the 3D printer. Alright, so now I am back at my 3D printer, and this is going to be really psychotic when it comes to actually editing because I've got to remember to take video sources from... Yeah! Alright, that's going to be fun. What I have right here is the Alexa SD card. Now what I've done, and this is really important for everybody out there to know, I made sure to unmount this thing before I unplugged it. And if that doesn't work, just shut the bloody computer down. Don't piss fart around with unplugging it and then everything's basically gone from it. You don't want that to happen. Anywho, you've had my little PSA, so let's see what happens when I shove it back in again. Oops. Now that's better. Ah, it works. Now, there was nothing saying about what you should do that I remember reading, so I'm going to try the best thing, and that is, if you ever watch the IT crowd, have you tried turning it off and on again? Oops. Off. On. Well, interesting. Okay, time to go back to the computer and see what happens. No. Okay, I am back at my computer, and now it's time to see whether or not this actually works. So I'm going to go Don't Save, and then I'm going to open up Bambu Studio. Now, both the laptop and the printer itself are connected to the same network, so fingers crossed, and it didn't usually take this long to load. Device. Add a printer. Oh, of course, I want to connect to the internet. Add a printer. Bind with pin code. Bind with access code. Bind with access code. So I'm going to go try this. All I can say right now is this is going to be a serious pain in the ass when it comes to editing, because I did not decide to start taking notes about which recording goes in order. Fun. Alright, with that said, I have taken a photo of my screen where it's got the access code, it's got its IP address, so I'm going to try enter that in. Oops. I don't think I did that right. Now let's try connect. Now it wants a serial number. Ugh. So now I'm back again after another bloody pause, and I should have my printer's serial number. and connect. Hey! Home. Wow, that is absolutely terrible. Wow. Ooh, I'm gonna have to change this app. Hold on, let me make it a little bit wider. Wow. Well, it worked. I got it connected. Ooh, extrude. Yeah, well, I don't have any filament loaded. Is it done? Is it done? I'd like to think so. Alright, now I'm going to do something extremely dangerous and step away from my computer while I turn around and connect my computer to the internet. So I've just gone and plugged it in. Yay! I've got internet access. That took a little while. Oh, so you can't browse the files on the SD card if it's only in LAN. Well, that makes things really annoying. Now, I'm not getting anything on the update page, which is a little bit concerning because I'd like to see whether or not there's a firmware update for my 3D printer. So, I'm not able to see anything on the update page. Loading. Playing. Okay, good. So that's worked. File storage is not supported in LAN Only Mode. Now, this is the thing that's pissing me off. I can't actually update this thing. It's not giving me the option to. So what I'll do is I'll go to Bambu Labs. Actually, I'll just go to Google. Oh, you can see my search. Now, today should be, it's the 5th of the 8th. So the 1st of the 8th is the last firmware. Authorization control enabled for security. Printer now use weather control commands from the original authorized software, not the... Developer, available in LAN mode. So there's probably a few bug fixes and stuff that I might want to get loaded on here. So that's the one that I want. So I will download that. Yowza. Done. So the question is, how do I apply the update to this? Firmware updates will be pushed from time to time, running the machine. Firmware is downloaded. When the firmware is installed, you get the message. Update firmware failures, replacing... That's not what I need to know. Let's see what Reddit has to say. Not yet possible. We can get SD cards in the future, blah, blah, blah. No. Not encouraging. So what do we got on GitHub? There's no official updates on LAN mode, LAN only mode. It says the latest firmware, blah, blah, blah. Can actually see what the firmware is from here itself. Printer parts. Well, you're not getting all that options from the printer itself when it comes to integrate. This is irritating. So back to Firefox. Yes, please. Upgrading firmware should not require apps. So this was last year. Now I'm not really getting any answers from here, so I'm going to change my options anytime the past month. Three weeks ago, while updating firmware. You can set to LAN only mode, which means you still print over Wi-Fi from the computer, the same network, but it won't receive updates, which means no risk of future updates. Blah, blah. This is what I did with my printer. If you just want to print, it's not really affected you. Maybe no, not at all. 2 years ago, I really wanted more system. Right. Now that's starting to irritate me. I wanted to update the firmware on my printer. Let's try to go over the current guide again. Firmware updates will be published from time to time. The printer will automatically check if there's any updates on the display. Connect to Wi-Fi. What I wanted to do is to run the update from the software, but it's looking like I might need to go back to the printer, turn it off and on again to see what it does. Right, let's try that. All right, so I'm back at my P1P and I'm attempting to do the firmware update. So first, I'm not going to try turning it off and on. I'm going to go into network settings. That doesn't work. Device. That doesn't give me what I want. Accessories. No. Calibration. No. Auto sleep. No. Language. Right. So while I'm still connected to the internet, I'm going to turn it off and then I'm going to turn it back on again and I'm going to see if it tries to do an update. Three, two, one. Well, that's kind of muted, isn't it? All right, no updates for me then. What a bugger. Anyway, for this part, I'm going to stop the video here. Next week, when I can set myself up with an extended period of time and reconfigure my reverse cycle, my intention will be to try and do a proper print. Until then, yibbity yibbita.